Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. As you see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. Well, we can talk about a little bit of stuff. You know, yesterday bank holiday, celebrating a friend's birthday. We did some nice activities which we can talk about. And I gotta be honest, I'm sore. Because we went, well, firstly, actually, we went to a place which is basically like a golf driving range. It's like a chain where basically there's like a load of massive golf holes in a huge field. I can't remember like how large it is. I think the furthest one way is like 240 yards or something, which is how many meters? 80 meters or something, which is a pretty far way to drive if you're not particularly good at golf or anything, but I'll get onto that in a second. Good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 8:44 p.m. on Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. So we did that. Oh, actually, we had lunch, and then we did, no. Yes. Then we were going to do that, and then it was actually a huge wait time, so we actually, so instead we were like, maybe we can do bowling while that's going on, and then no, we couldn't do bowling, because then we actually got near the front of the queue again, so we played in the arcade for a little bit, but we had lunch, and we also, we just chilled outside for, like, about an hour, and then afterwards, at evening time, we did go-karting. I think I've spoken about go-karting before. I'm not sure if I've spoken about this golfing driving range thing before, but go-karting is basically just like, it's fine, you know, it's not really my sort of thing. I'm never like particularly enthused about driving. If it was like a thing where it's like, you know, like obviously because it's my friend's birthday, I'm gonna do it, you know, and I'm a big person. I can handle doing something which I'm like is not my favorite thing in the world for like one time a year or something, or a couple of times a year, you know. There's nothing particularly wrong with that, but it's the sort of thing where it's like, hey, do you want to join like a go-karting club, or like, hey, do you want to make us like a more frequent recreational activity? I would just be like, it's not really my thing, to be honest. And that's just how life goes, you know. Some things are your jam, baby, and some things are your not. Some things are not. But yeah, what I want to talk about today, we're going to talk about the driving range. And by the driving, well, a different sort of driving, I suppose, but the golf driving range. So yeah, it was actually something I couldn't participate in. If you don't know, I have a bad shoulder, which quite easily dislocates if I'm not too careful when making swinging motions, which, you know, golf is comprised of. It's not the worst sport, I think, for potentially dislocating my shoulder. I think a crown of that goes to badminton. And tennis probably comes shortly afterwards. I'd imagine rugby is probably up there too, but you know, I haven't played rugby for years, so who really knows? But golf is probably up there, big swinging motions and all that. But I actually used to go to this golfing like driving range area when I was younger. It's like a popular, not say super popular, but like a nichely popular, I suppose, birthday party. You know, certainly back in primary school, I think I actually had maybe a birthday party or two there. I don't know who popularized it in my friend. It might have actually been me in my primary school, but I'm not really sure, because I think I was taken there first by a family friend, and I was like, whoa, this is a super fun time, you know, me as like a 8-year-old or something going to like a driving range, just randomly hitting golf balls. And of course, you know, 8-year-old strength isn't that high, but basically they have like a load of giant like golf holes, I suppose, you know, to try and like launch balls into. It's basically an arcade game, but driving golf balls down a pitch or something. And they have a few colours. It goes like red, yellow, green, brown, blue, pink, black, or something like that. I don't know how big a chain it is. I'm actually going to Google it, because they might have multiple locations. If it's a one-time thing, I'm obviously not going to say where it is. Let's see, how many locations you got? How many locations you got? I mean, you could probably figure it out. It's like, excuse me, these locations are not loading. More locations. There's only 4 locations, so it's not actually all that many. But it's probably a reasonably popular thing. But back in primary school, yeah, I was taken there firstly by a family friend, I believe, and you know, had a lot of fun. I could only ever hit it into like the red and yellow holes because they were the closest, and I was quite weak because I was, you know, young. Nowadays, I don't even know. I would assume I could probably be able to hit it into the green. But you know, it's something I'd probably be quite tired doing. And I don't have amazing like strength or anything, but yeah, it was me and 3 other friends went there, and it's basically, you know, well, I mean, I still technically participated, but I mean, physically I did not. Physically, I just sat there, you know, at the table. You know, I was recording videos. I was drinking. I wasn't actually drinking alcohol because we were doing go-karting later, so I was like, that's probably not a good idea. But I was drinking water, and I was having some snacks and some food. and, you know, casual conversation, because you know me, I'm much more just sort of about like the socialization aspect rather than necessarily the activity. I don't really care that much about what the activity is unless it's something which I actively don't particularly like. But most things I'm pretty cool with, you know. That's what, you know, my ideal thing, just like, you know, a lovely like picnic, or, you know, just drinking tea or something like that. That's, you know, that's me. I'm like a grandma or something. But yeah, so I was perfectly content just like sort of chilling there. My friends, you know, were doing the golf driving, I suppose, and, you know, I still purchased a round myself technically. Well, we actually had 2 rounds each, which is like 40 golf balls, which you had to sort of drive off this pitch with a tee, I suppose. Obviously I didn't hit any of my balls, but it was just like extra rounds for my friends, because why not? It's a bit more fun that way. Yeah, I don't really know what to say, because it's a rather straightforward thing. Is you know, you get 1 round, you get 20 balls. They're all electronic balls, which is interesting, and it's always been that way. But there's like this little like ball holder which you can put a load of the balls in, and then you like bring it up through this little channel which scans it. At least that's what it was when I was back in primary school. Now it's not a channel; it's like a little tunnel or a little hole it drops through. Because before it used to be very difficult to actually get it to scan properly. I can't properly describe it to you, to be honest, but it was like, before it used to be like, imagine like a river channel, but now it's like a pipe, it sort of like drops through. And then you just, you know, tee off, and then you like square up, and, you know, you drive. I don't really know much about golf, so, you know, I don't really know about what you're meant to use, any technique and that sort of thing. All I can really say is just, you know, aim for hold on, just, you know, go for it. It's meant to be just like a casual approach to, you know, golf, just like go-karting, I'm sure, is a casual approach to, you know, racing, like a car racing, or, you know, things like that. And you know, like a batting cage is a casual approach to like baseball or softball, which is probably more popular in the UK, I'd imagine. Things like that. It's just like turning it into an arcade game, shall we say. So yeah, that was genuinely a jolly good time, and, you know, I have a lot of good memories, I think, going there when I was younger. Like, I had a birthday party or 2 there, and because they also have like a mini golf section outside, and I remember one of them, it was like, it blew my mind, because like the only other times I did mini golf were like these like tiny caravan parks, which had, you know, the most interesting hole being like, whoa, it's got like a loop-de-loop, or like, whoa, it's got like a windmill which doesn't spin, and you had to hit it underneath a windmill. This one had like this crazy thing where you could, there's one of the holes, I don't know if it's still like that, to be honest, because this was like, it must be like, not 20 years ago, that's too much, but like 15 years ago or something. Excuse me, 15 years ago or something, you would hit it off like into the river, and the river would carry the golf ball down. It was like a river or waterfall in the middle of one of the holes, and it would carry down, and you could just get a hole in one like that. And I remember it blew my mind when I first saw it, and I was like, what? That's crazy. So yeah, I think I might have had 2 birthday parties back there when I was younger. Like, I don't really know how well we did or whatever. I remember back when I was younger, back in primary school, we had, I'm probably one of the least sporty out of all my friends or whatever. Like, we actually had someone who was like genuinely sporty. He was someone who he I don't know why I remember this, but he like joined us when we were in year like year 3 or year 4 or something. He was very, very good at sport, and I remember he was like, the first time he ever went there, he just like absolutely aced it. Considering he was like 10 or 11, you know, he actually like managed to hit it in like the green hole or whatever. I was like, I think he might have done golf before. I genuinely can't remember now. Anyway, how's he doing? Haven't spoken to him for years, so hopefully well, you know. But yeah, I remember doing that, and then of course nowadays, you know, it's not. We've been there before, like as a friend group, like I'm gonna say like 3 or 4 years ago. It's been quite a while, I suppose, since then. The thing is, one of my friends, you know, is quite strong, and he genuinely, I would have thought he had the strength to hit it all the way to the black hole at the very end. Of course, he doesn't play golf, so, you know, there's not really much technique, I suppose, in what he's doing. Perhaps if he actually had to have the golf technique, he would actually be able to aim it properly, or like know what spin he's putting on the golf ball rather than just sort of whacking it. But it was very impressive. I think he actually managed to hit it out of bounds of the actual pitch. Like, it like bounced, and I didn't actually see it, because it's very difficult to track when it's like 200, like 70 meters away or something, but apparently he drove it, and then it like bounced, and then it like rolled up the side of one of the fences and just like got out of a pitch or something, which is the wildest thing. But yeah, you might be like, how well do you think you would have done if you could do it like and not dislocate your shoulder, probably not that amazingly. I don't think my technique would be terrible for someone who doesn't play golf, but and certainly it would be terrible if I was someone who played golf, but like if for someone who doesn't really know what they're doing, it would probably be passable. But I don't really have that much strength, it's not like I can really send a golf ball flying, I don't think so. I would imagine I would do marginally better than I did as a child, which is weird to say. No, that can't be true, but I probably would do better than I did as a child. But I'd imagine more of that might have been with aiming or not. I don't really know. And it's a bit of a shame because it does look like a decent amount of fun, I suppose, hitting golf balls. But I would rather, as fun as it is, it's also very fun just sort of like chilling with my friends in first place. Like if I was there by myself, I don't know why I would be there by myself, but it's still a fun time chilling with my friends. And honestly, perhaps more of a fun time because it's a good thing because golf is, it's quite tiring, swinging like a golf club around like 40 times, in the space of like an hour and a bit or something. It's not the most exhausting sport, obviously, like I think a marathon would probably top it, and many other sports, but it still hurts after a while, right? And then afterwards we did go-karting, and we did 3 rounds of go-karting, which I'll talk about tomorrow, I suppose, more. But my god, my arms are so dead from go-karting, and I'm actually very bruised from it, which is weird to say, but apparently go-karting very violent. Yeah, but they used to have a mini golf, not used to, they still do have a mini golf section. And I assume it's just kind of like an arcadey place that people go to like get drinks and then, have a few drinks, not too wild, and we just like swing some like golf balls off into the distance, like yeet them or whatever. The thing is, they have like a crazy long like waiting queue. I mean, to be fair, we went yesterday on a bank holiday, and I can't remember what time we turned up, like at 3 or something. Hey, it's a burger, I was just hanging out. At like 3 or something, and then we didn't get to play till like 5ish or something. It was basically a couple hour wait, which is just wild to think about, because apparently it's something you can't book in advance or something, which is, or you need to like pay you need to be like a member or something to book in advance, which I didn't think used to be a case, when I was younger, and like certainly I don't think we ever signed up for membership, but maybe we did. I'd imagine that's like just sort of a holdover thing from golf itself. Because I think you probably need to have a golf membership to actually use golf courts, I'd imagine. And I genuinely don't know if that's true or not, but that's my assumption. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was a member and I just used to go there super often. I have like a membership card. I don't know why I put it, to be perfectly honest. And I think it might be in my purse, but still, which is even weirder to say because of course I've never really done it. Or I don't know. I can't really do it anymore. Well, unless I get like a shoulder surgery or something, but that's not something which I'm probably going to do for a while. Because most of the sports I play, I'll just play left-handed now. Like if I were to play badminton now, I would just play badminton left-handed. I would probably be significantly worse, true, but I would also not dislocate my shoulder, and that's pretty good. I guess I couldn't really do tennis. Tennis is a bit hard to do left-handed, but I don't really play like racket sports anymore, so it's not like a big loss or anything. Yeah, I don't really know where I was going with this. Maybe someday I'll get whatever surgeries. I actually was meant to get the surgery, but then COVID happened, so I never did get the surgery because everything just shut down for like ever. Yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that. Anyway, so golf, yeah, driving range and golf. I understand the appeal, certainly, and I think it's actually, a good thing, more things should be able to be, like, arcade-ified, I suppose, and marketed, not necessarily marketed towards, but made more accessible, like, as a taster to people who aren't into the activity in the first place, I'm sure it can be done for many other things. Karaoke is obviously like a big one for like singing. Just make it a game, make it just like a social event where with drinks happening, and it's an absolute fun time. Batting cages, of course, is another thing, which I've never been to, but I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure you can do something with dance as well. I don't really know, like Dance Dance Revolution. Although Dance Dance Revolution is a different thing because rhythm games are kind of like a learned skill too. So I don't really know what it'd have to be. I guess it'd have to be like a jazzercise class or something along that ilk, which. It's sort of like a communal dancey event. I mean, dancey is kind of misleading because it is just dance, isn't it? But still, you know what I mean. It's like it's a different feel from like competitive dance to like recreational dance, right? I guess that's not really gamified or arcadeified now I think about it. So I guess Just Dance is probably a better example But I'm sure you could do that with like tons of different things. I don't really know, to be honest, what I would want on the top of my head, because a lot of the things I like already are already arcadeified, or like is a video game in the first place, so it's kind of like meaningless, I think, to discuss what it would be like arcadeified, because it is arcadeified. I mean, I guess you can make a more digestible version of like complicated games, certainly. I don't know what arcadey chess would look like. I don't even play chess, so I don't even know why that came to mind, but it's a possibility. What else? I don't really know. Arcadey fashion? That'd be interesting. I think I would like that as well, because it's not like I'm a super fashionista. I do like fashion, certainly, don't get me wrong. I'm just not that super, like, I'm not that educated on it compared to a lot of people. I'm just interested in it. Absolutely, I would take a fashion class or something at some point, but, you know, there's many things I would do. I think there's many classes I would take, you know. I think it's a different thing taking it as a class and taking it as, like an actual thing which you need to, like, study, like, a degree or whatever. I need to fill up my water bottle. So what else? I don't know, my friends were using a lot of different, like, golf clubs. There's a big chunky like driver thing, and there's like some wedges. It's a bit weird because it is a driving range in the first place. I would have thought they would only give you drivers, but I guess, you know, it's a whole range of skills actually trying to participating as, did I just hear, I thought I just had a shooting star, playing with a golf driving, at this area in the first place. But, you know, it kind of makes sense. So, you know, certainly kids, I'd imagine, maybe want to use a wedge, maybe because it's smaller, it's a bit more accessible, you know, shorter, lighter, you know, driver is a bit, like, unwieldy, but what do I know? How was the food there? It was, like, bar food, basically, which is like, you know, chips, burgers, it's pizza, you know, churros or something. So yeah, not great, you know, overpriced for what it is. It's, you know, it's basically you're paying for convenience. This is a rare time we actually did have dinner there because we actually needed it for convenience. It's like one of a few times where you actually go to a place and eat the food there. Because the food is always terrible at these sort of places, you know, these activity centres or whatnot. They're not there for food, they're there for the activity. The food is there for convenience. And, you know, certainly if you're organising like a birthday party, it makes more sense or whatever. Like, I remember there was like this kids activity entertainment centre or something, which I had a birthday party at, and we had like a private room where we just had like, probably just like junk food the entire time, because like, what else are you going to have at a kid's birthday party? Sure, you could like try and have like a healthy and balanced meal or whatnot, but I think, you know, every parent would probably be like, it's so much easier just to like give them pizza or something, right? And when you already got the entire hassle of like trying to organise 30 or whatever kids or something at a birthday party, you don't want to have to deal with being like trying to get kids to eat like hummus and dip. Well, I mean, hummus is a dip. Hummus and like carrot sticks or something. You know, it is good for them, but kids can have unhealthy food once in a while. Why not? Make it a treat. So anyway, it was a rare time because, you know, obviously me being who I am, I would be like, oh, of course I would never even consider ever buying like food at like a entertainment centre or something like that. Like, why would I buy a hot dog here? Like, it's like the same thing as like going to a movie theatre. Why would I ever buy popcorn or hot dog? But it's fine, you know. it's not that delicious, but sometimes you just need it for convenience sake, right? Sometimes it's just, you know, you don't have time. Sometimes you're like, okay, I don't really care for food that much, and you're paying to just not have to go and queue up like at another fancy restaurant or make a booking or figure out the timings with regard to that. Just eat while you're there. And the chips were fine, I would say. I mean, it's hard to get chips particularly wrong, so I guess that was good. Hot dog again was also fine. It was also it came with mustard and like crispy onions, except for they came separately, which I was like, oh, fair enough. But it's also, you know, they gave the mustard in like a little like bucket, which I was like, I don't know if this is meant to be for the chips or it's meant. I assumed it was for the hot dog, but it's kind of hard to pour like this thick mustard from a bucket, like a mini bucket on top of a hot dog. It was all I was thinking, but hey, what do I know? I still did it in the end, and I put mayonnaise on as well because I don't know. It's weird because they give you like a little bucket of mustard, but they also have things on the table like ketchup bottles and mustard bottles and something else. I don't remember what the other one was off the top of my head. It was like, why not just give a mustard bottle? I don't know. Is mustard like more expensive? So, you know, you gotta conserve it or something? I genuinely don't know. Anyway, it was a pretty fun time, you know. At least I had fun, despite the fact I, you know, didn't even participate in the. Did we not talk to Totma? I don't know why we didn't. Oh my god! Please, Joy-Con Drift, let me just sell these flowers. I can sell my own flowers. Pick the shells off the sand. I can play this game for hours. That's not the tune. Play this game for hours. I don't know what the next line is. Like you wouldn't understand. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. It's like simple. I feel like, you know, golf is certainly one of the things where if you arcadified, it just makes, you know, it's simplistic fun, isn't it? Just hit the board as far and as hard as you can go with some sort of sense of direction, and ooh, you kind of get points sometimes. Always good fun. I didn't really talk about the stories I had when I was younger from it, but whatever. We could talk about that another time. So, in any case, if you haven't been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. I hope we can see each other again. But for right now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.